Hey everybody, how's it going? This is FamKam and I have Miss Caitlin here. We are doing something very different on IGL today. Instead of the usual interviewing ASM artist, we have another kind of very special guest, somebody who plays another very important role in the community. We have Articulate Design's favorite person in the world, ASMR Memes. How's it going?
Doing fantastic. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So we're here to shoot the shit. We got some memes talks, we got some culture talks, and we will also talk about memes background in ASMR. So first, I want to open up with how did you get into ASMR?
It's actually a lot of people have like these very touching stories of how they got into it and how they discovered it.
Yeah.
I don't. Back in 2014, Molly Shannon was on Conan O'Brien's TV show and talking about this weird thing called this ASMR and kind of described it. And I'm like, well, that's super weird. And I looked it up, and back then there weren't as many channels. So I got directly, of course, taken straight to Gentle Whispering's channel, and I watched a couple of her videos, and I was just immediately hooked. I've always struggled with insomnia, so having
Yeah, same.
something that could put me to sleep incredibly easy was a really great asset to have, and I've just been super into it ever since.
Absolutely. And, to the point of Molly Shannon being a fan of ASMR, I remember a couple years back, Aubrey Plaza did a video, did an ASMR video and brought up Molly Shannon a good few times. And like, this is for her. She loves ASMR, things
That's
like
so
that.
sweet.
Yeah. That and her calling Jim O'Hare, who played Jerry in Parks and Rec, and just like, I'm gonna text Jerry and tell him that Jerry sucks, that kind of thing.
Still staying in character all these years later.
Absolutely, that's the beauty of it. I mean, Nick Offerman is staying in character too, because like aside from acting, he runs his own wood shop, so he really is in character as a Ron Swanson there.
Yeah, I mean, he wrote a book about like wood shops and like making canoes and stuff like that. So I don't even think he was acting to be Ron Swanson. He just got up there and reacted to stuff as Nick Offerman.
Yeah, pretty
Totally.
much.
He knows better than me.
I think actually I turned that moment into a meme once.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Tell us more
I
about that.
think. Oh, I mean, I've made so many. I can't remember all of them exactly, but I think at this point I am well over 1,200 memes that I've made and posted. And those are just the ones that I've posted. I have even more that I make, and I'm like, this is just stupid, dude.
They
Don't
just sit
post
in the
this.
junk folder forever.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you think the ones I do post sometimes are terrible. You should see the ones I don't post. They are next level, just really bad.
Would you ever one day maybe like release back catalog, maybe like April Fool's Day or something?
If you got me super inebriated and managed to talk me into it, then yes. But most of the time, it's not that they were dumb. It's more like you make it and you're like, this is super cringe. Sometimes I'll make one and I'm like, this is kind of insensitive. Or like
Yeah.
yesterday, if you'll notice, I post a meme every day. And today we're recording this on December 12th. Yesterday, December 11th, I didn't post one because I made it and I looked at it, and just like, you know what, this seems rather insensitive. So I just decided not to post it. So those are a lot of the ones that sit in the junk folder.
Yeah.
So what's your poison if we were to ask you to post some?
Would you make a
Um,
Patreon and post them there as like a
I,
little
I would
treat?
only charge people for the good memes. I would not post
Fair.
the bad ones on there. Like, you're gonna pay for them. I'm gonna make you some top tier content, not the Twitter stuff that I usually make, but the kind of stuff that you find on maybe Reddit or Tumblr.
Well, who
More out
knows?
there.
Some people might think of the quote unquote terrible memes as the top tier content because it gives us the most laughs.
That's very true. You know what? I guess doing a little more experimental stuff probably wouldn't hurt. But generally speaking, when I've experimented in the past, Twitter hasn't responded to it very well. So I do try and
Mm,
take more of a middle road when it comes to, I want to say content creation, because that's what you guys do, but meme creation, I guess.
yeah.
So that actually brought me to another point. Have you ever thought about monetizing your content? I mean, not necessarily to like make money off of it, but like put something on like a Patreon. I'm pretty sure you can do like free Patreons, like just to offer some additional content without it necessarily clogging everyone's Twitter feeds.
Not really. I try to minimize how often I post for that reason. like just once a day tops.
Hmm.
I try and just limit myself because I don't want to clog anyone's Twitter or Instagram with too much. And then if I have like a surplus, I'll just schedule them out ahead of time because you can do that now with Twitter.
Yeah.
You are
Actually, I mean,
very qualified to be a YouTuber with that mentality.
thank you. Other than the fact I don't like to film or edit, I could totally do that.
Totally. So, what got you into making memes?
Well, I think it was maybe late 2017. I started to see that this was really becoming a community and becoming less a fringe thing. I knew I wanted to get involved somehow, but I immediately knew, I don't have the talent to make ASMR. Even if I did, I don't think we need another one right now. So I knew I didn't want to do that. And then it was
That
when
was a
I
year
discovered-
before I became an ASMR artist.
Well, and look, you found your niche though. Like you've managed to do something very productive, and you've done something really cool with that. And I'm not quite inventive enough for that.
Oh, you never
But
know.
when I discovered it, well,
No pressure.
we'll see. But it was discovering Isabel Imagination's channel in early 2018.
Yeah.
Really spurred me to action. Because YouTube's algorithm is terrible, and it'll show you the same 3 channels all the time. And I'm like, I fell in love with her content immediately. I looked it up, and I'm like, she's been doing this for 2.5 years. Not once has YouTube recommended her to me. I'm like, I need to do something that will introduce people to more than just the 3 same YouTubers that they've been watching for years.
Yeah.
And you think surely people are aware of all of them, but I did that International Women's Day video last year that featured 100 different female ASM artists, and I challenged people like, hey, how many can you name? And I thought people would say like, oh, I know 20 or 30 of these women. The record was 7, and most of them said,
really?
Oh, recognized. Yeah. So whenever you think,
how's that possible?
ASMR music, I don't know. 'Cause they follow their 1 or 2 favorites, and then their 1 or 2 favorites have a couple of friends they always collab with, and you'll only know 5 or 6. And most people said they only recognize 2 or 3.
Wow.
So
that blows my damn mind.
It was a real gut punch. Again, I thought people would be like in the dozens category, but I don't think anyone even said more than 10.
I pictured people writing a list of at mentions that would take up the course of 4 or 5 tweets, like a lot of those tweet threads where they ask for name an ASMRs you really appreciated that helps you and blah blah blah, and whenever somebody does that, I drown in notifications for the next day or 2.
Yeah, that's for the people who are in touch with the community, but your average ASMR viewer, they watch, Privy and ASMR Zeitgeist, and that's it. They don't know any others.
Mm-hmm.
Those are exactly the channels that I watched when I first got into it. I still watch them, but I watch a lot of others too.
Who do you normally go for then?
Ooh, good question. Usually I'm a workaholic, so oftentimes I go for ASMR that doesn't have a lot of talkings. So one of well, not always, but usually it's stuff like ASMR beats. I remember when I first discovered his channel, probably a couple months after I started doing ASMR myself. I was like, I've been looking for a channel like this for years. Before I even knew what ASMR was, I wanted to find a channel that made relaxing music, but also mixed it with some kind of relaxing sound without even be able to pinpoint in my brain that that's what ASMR is in the production sense. But it's just one of those things where you instinctually know of something without really actually full-blown knowing it, if that makes sense. And when I found ASMR beats, I was like, I felt like I hit the jackpot. And Matteo is also happens to be one of the coolest dudes that ever walked the planet.
That's so wild, because I am the exact opposite. To me, the power of the ASMR artist is in their voice. My favorite trigger is always vocal triggers, whether or not it's whispering or soft spoken. If it's really anything else, I'm not really getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
I really love how subjective that is. Like, you can be all about the nonverbal stuff, and I just really, when you say get off, that totally gives off the wrong vibe. I can't get anything, any tingles, I guess, from anything that isn't vocal.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, vocals almost never give me tingles, although I do enjoy ASMR involving vocals more when I'm not working, like if I'm working out or going for a walk or trying to go to sleep or just laying back and chilling, doing nothing on my computer but just staring at a screen, hanging out at a Twitch stream. Things like that is when I tend to go for ASMR with talking more.
As ASMR artists, do you guys ever have like kind of something like you see yourself reflected in another person's triggers? Like you're kind of watching something and like, oh, I do this, and now I get why this appeals to other people, like that.
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
I would say that there are certain triggers that I very much enjoy when other creators use them that I don't enjoy doing myself, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Like which triggers are that for you?
So I really enjoy the frog Giro. If you guys know the little frog, it's like
Oh,
a wooden
yeah.
brown thing. I love the froggy.
Familiar.
Yeah, I love the froggy when other people do it, but when I'm doing it myself, I just don't really enjoy the sound. And I think it's because of the way that I'm monitoring my audio.
You know, I'm the exact same way for that exact same trigger.
It comes off very harsh in your own audio, but in other people's live streams, it doesn't come across as harsh. Another example is mouth sounds. I cannot listen to myself do mouth sounds, but listening to other people do mouth sounds, it melts my brain.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm very mixed when it comes to mouth sounds. Like I enjoy mouth sounds if they're not so slobbery. Like if somebody's like drooling in my ear, I shriek. But other mouth sounds I can do and I can take rather.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, if anything else, it's a bit of an art to it. You don't want any, because I'm the same way. I don't want like the gross in-ear slobbering. That's just nasty. But yeah, if they do it right, then it can, like Kat said, it's just brain melting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to call those triggers exaggerated because they're just over the top and too much in your face. But some people are into that,
Calling them exaggerated really tells me that you really are an OG.
Thank you.
Because that is the very type of language that experts tend to use in their field. I tend to notice, like when I was in animation school, a lot of the teachers used that word so much, like exaggerate the poses and exaggerate the arcs and a lot like that. I could go on a whole tangent on that, but I won't. Don't worry. But
as an OG, like what's it been like watching this particular genre just grow exponentially, just faster and faster and faster over the past decade-ish?
It's funny that you say that because recently I was reading I believe it was Reddit post about what is up with this new up-and-coming phenomenon of fast and unpredictable ASMR. And a lot of people say it's because it's the best way for them to experience tingles. And I also find as if when I listen to faster paced ASMR, it tends to distract my brain a little bit longer. So it is a little weird when I'm so used to this slow paced like ASMR and then seeing people who speak 1,000 miles a minute. So for me, I enjoy it. I'm super glad to see this variety within the ASMR community.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very unique to see how quickly these fast, unpredictable videos have come up.
Yeah, plus as with anything, there's always trends. Like they'll come and then the next trend will come along and that'll take over. And I mean, like Etta, she was doing the laying your head in the lap thing, and she really just kind of, that really took off thanks to her. Like I haven't seen too much of that till she did, and now it's everywhere.
Yeah, I actually recently did a video inspired by that because I love the style and the way that the camera angle looks. It totally works for ASMR and personal attention.
Totally. Yeah, and it seems very genuine. Like with that, it's not just waving your hands at a camera. Like it actually feels very intimate, even though you consciously know it's not.
I completely agree.
So not long ago, you put up a few memes about the evil versions of ASMR artists saying like the exact opposite of what they're known for. Like Evil Taylor be like, "Hey, it isn't me." So what inspired that? How'd that come to your mind? What was your thought process?
I wish I could take credit for that, but that was actually a very popular trend on Instagram that I actually brought over to Twitter. I
Oh,
hadn't seen that at all on Twitter. I'm like, well, I can try this a bit. But yeah, people would do that with their favorite fictional characters. Like evil Steve Rogers be like, I can't do this all day. Or evil Darth Vader be like, I am not the father, something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I can take that, I can make that about this particular genre, and I can start doing it on Twitter.
I absolutely loved that series of memes. It is just so funny because if you know the character or the ASMR creator, you just absolutely immediately get the joke and the reference, and
yeah.
it just was so witty. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, so I think some of them were a little more niche than others. I mean, I think Selene's people aren't maybe didn't quite get that one, but like Tira or Taylor, those were very obvious jokes that people
Yeah.
definitely appreciated.
Maddie's was my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was proud of that one.
Maddie is to shoes like the ASMR nerd is to keyboards. Straight up.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will keep that in mind next time I need to make one about him. I've only done a couple of him.
Oh yeah.
As familiar with his content, but I've done a few.
He
It's
is
the hard part.
he is
A
fantastic.
lot of people
He
will be like, you know, hey, why haven't you ever made a meme about so and so? And like, I don't know them very well. You know, I have my own personal favorites that I like to watch.
yeah.
That's why I make so many memes about Kat and Etta and like Articulate Design. I have my friends that I like to make memes about. Like, I really do try and make memes about as many as I can, but I'm only one person. As much as people would
Exactly.
like to be like, oh, how many people do you have working on your team? I'm like, it's just me, dude.
Yeah.
It's just the one person cranking these out.
Totally.
Yeah, so speaking of that, I was just looking over at your Twitter. How does it feel to have almost 9,000 people following you on Twitter and looking at your memes?
I still really have a hard time believing it. I was really just hoping for like a couple dozen fellow Tingle enthusiasts I could bond with. The several thousands is just blown away. I have a hard time understanding it sometimes.
Yeah, but it must be a very like accomplishing thing to see and be like, wow, thousands of people can appreciate my humor.
yeah.
Yes. I mean, the longer I'm on Twitter, the more I realize that most of Twitter does not understand humor at all.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I'll just post a meme and you know, they won't even grasp that it was supposed to be a joke. Like this is not serious. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but it's just like, come on, guys, this was not a serious thing. Please don't put too much value in it. I know that GB's name is not Gibby. I know that. Please don't come after me every time I do it.
That's the whole point of the joke. You're making
Yes.
fun of people who do think it is.
Mhm. I'll get those galaxy-brained people in my replies like, you know it's GB, not Gibby, right? I'm like, yeah, that's the joke, you pea-brain.
Gibby
Try not
is
to be mean.
Gibby is the Ouija of GB.
Yeah, that's... I'm gonna I'll go off on a tangent if I talk about all the dumbasses I get, but yeah, I mean, they don't get... There's people I see in my replies who aren't into ASMR, don't understand memes, don't even have a sense of humor, and I'm like, why do you follow me?
And
Well-
why are you subjecting yourself to this willingly?
Yes. You know, just like to mention, I have neither the time or energy to explain the joke to everyone who doesn't get it. Sometimes you're just not going to get a joke. Just take the L and move on.
Yeah, and if you want to understand the joke, the best way to do it is take some time and watch the ASMRs that the meme is about, and you probably will get it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do try and include names whenever I make a meme about a lesser-known ASMR, so people can go look them up themselves for that exact reason. I mean, again, my whole thing is trying to introduce people to content creators that may not have already known about.
Yeah.
It always warms my heart when people will ask for a link to their channel. I'm like, yes, this was my goal.
Oh,
I did
that's so
one
good.
about Rapunzel
Yeah,
ASMR a little while back, and people were in replies like, who is this lady? I'm like, well, let me just introduce you to her.
Totally.
Actually,
I bought Rapunzel's old DSLR.
There you go.
Yeah. You know, when you first made a meme about me, it was when I was doing a Hot Ones challenge with Emerald Rose ASMR.
Yep.
When I said wood tapping is the best trigger according to ASMR memes, and then when you made an actual meme about it, when you actually made an actual meme about that, that was the moment that I felt like I've made it.
Yeah, I always get so touched when people get like flattered that I made a meme of them. I'm just like messing around here, but if people are happy, then I'm happy. That's my whole goal. Just trying
Yeah.
to bring a little positivity into something that there's still a lot of negative stigmas around.
Totally.
Of course, I think that's great. I mean, for me personally, I absolutely love when I get that notification that you've tagged me in a meme or something, because a lot of my memes like do involve my cat. It's a very low hanging fruit, so it's great when it's like, oh, it's my best friend. He's in a meme.
Yeah, no, I love making Aussie memes. He's most of the reason I show up to your streams anyway.
I know, right? That's why most
there
people
for the
come.
boy.
It looks like I need to get a cat then.
Yeah, that's actually I've been playing around with one about because I know you don't do landings very well when you play Flight Simulator, so I'm just unable to think of a setup to that particular punchline. And because you brought that up to me months ago, and it's at one of your streams. And for
Yeah.
the life of me, I have not been able to think of a setup for that particular punchline.
Well, when you do, I'm ready to brace myself for it, just like I do before landing.
Okay, well, ooh, okay, maybe I can work with that. You might have just unintentionally given me a bit of a setup there, but like I said, I've been working on. Sometimes like you just have this. Do you guys ever do that with your videos? Like you just have an idea, but you don't know how you're gonna pull it off.
All the damn time. Like,
Dude,
Yeah, that's
all the
that's who.
time.
Yeah, I have so many meme ideas like in my brain. I'm like, I just don't know how I'm gonna get this to work in a single visual format, like in one single image. How am I gonna set up and punchline without using too many words and too many images? It's tough. But once inspiration strikes, it's like, oh, how did I not think of this already?
yeah. Let's talk more about your love for wood triggers.
Okay, so here's the awkward thing. Earlier I mentioned how verbal triggers are my favorite. Oh, they really are my favorite. Tapping on wooden objects is the best trigger. It's a device I use to spur conversation about various triggers. I thought it was a rather inoffensive one, so it's become kind of like a running joke on my page. It's not actually my personal favorite.
So it's a
interesting.
meme within a meme. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's my attempt at a running gag. I was supposed to only do it for the first couple of months I ran the account, and then I just kept doing it, and then people kind of associated wood tapping with me, and I'm like, oh, I'm in too deep now. I can't stop.
I literally thought that it was your genuine favorite for years.
Like it's a device I use because whenever I say that, I get people in my replies saying, "Oh, well, here's actually my favorite," and I get to talk to them about their favorite trigger and kind of bond over that kind of thing. So that's why I do it.
So that makes me have a question for you. Do you prefer soft speaking, whispering, or a little bit of a mix when it comes to your auditory ASMR?
I don't have I have a general favorite. It just depends on my mood. It depends on the creator. Sometimes some are better at one than the other. Actually, I prefer FamKam. I prefer your soft-spoken. Cat, I prefer your
Thank
whispers.
you.
It really
Yeah.
depends on the person. Like I said, it's such a subjective genre. Like there's really no way to quantify so much of this stuff, and that's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, it really is like one size doesn't fit all at all. There's so many different genres. There's so many different subgenres. There's so many different styles. That's why I think it's
Totally.
really cool that we all have different favorite triggers.
And that's what I love talking to people about. That's why I do stuff like that with the memes, because I get to engage with so many different people about their preferences. And people were like DM me about, I didn't know anyone else even liked this ASM artist, and you made a meme about them, and then I'll get to talk to them about that.
Wow.
Like how I discovered them, what they like about them, what I like about them. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
That's really special.
I get to bond with a lot of the ASMR super fans out there, which is, again, it was kind of the point of starting my account in the first place.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's gotta feel so good to have that one person DM you, because I know from like my side of things, when someone DMs me and says something like, thank you so much for doing this, it's got to feel good to be like, wow, thank you so much for showcasing this person. I also love them. That has to be such a great feeling.
Yeah.
It really is. Well, especially when it's like a smaller ASM artist and I make a meme of them. They're like, thank you for making this a meme. That means a lot to me that someone watched my video and appreciated it. That's what really warms my heart.
That was me a couple years ago. Hell, that's still me.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in the same Discord as FamKam and Miss Caitlin. I'm like freaking out. Like my inner fanboy is just like goes nuts every time I get to interact with a new creator.
Which every time I hear you say that, I fanboy because I thought I made it when when you made a meme about me. Hell, when you first followed me on Twitter, I was like, the ASMR memes knows who I am. What's going on?
I mean, well, I think you, as a more extroverted person, get so much credit in the community just for being willing to reach out and make friends. I mean, that's kind of why I followed you. Like, I saw you reaching out, and you tweeted at me a bunch, and now here you are. I mean, you have so many friends, and you do stuff like this, make this podcast. Like, that's really is thanks to people like you. People like you are what keep me coming back, I guess.
Ah, that means a lot, man.
So yeah, and it's really. Like I said, there's so many different people around, and just not all of them stand out, but I think you're a real standout person.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see.
So that actually reminds me of a meme series you were making a few months back where you featured Twitch ASMR streamers.
Oh, the tag yourself.
Yes, the tag yourself one. And I really loved that series because I remember in the replies, someone, I believe it was Rapunzel, was like, who's this person? And it happened to be Tubi, Mr. Tubi, who's also a Belgian ASMR creator. So I thought it was very wonderful to have two Belgian ASMR creators come together over one of your memes. And it always stood out to me.
It made my day. Like I was like, oh my gosh, they're both Belgian. I can make this happen. I can make this a thing.
Yeah, again, that's why I made the meme.
Yeah. That was. I mean, again, that's why I do it. I can introduce people. Whenever somebody says, who is this person? I'm like, yes, this is why I do this. I can introduce you to someone new, get you out of the same little bubble you've been in for Lord knows how long.
Exactly.
Plus, it brought the conversation. I'm like, because some people are like, who are any of these people? And I'm like, well, these are some of the bigger Twitch ASMRs. And some people said, hey, I'm not into Twitch ASMR at all. Is it worth checking out? And I said, of course, and here's why. And some people were like, I've checked out Twitch ASMR. I prefer the pre-recorded stuff. And I'm like, that's totally valid. I just love talking about that stuff. Like I said, I'm just a big ASMR super fan. So whenever I get to engage with anyone about their preferences, that's just a big deal for me.
Do you prefer live ASMR or pre-recorded, or does it not really matter?
The longest time I shied away from the live stuff, but then I found you and Selene and Etta, and I really think there is a lot of validity to the live stuff. So I don't think I have a preference. It really just depends on what I'm feeling.
That's totally fair. I feel very similarly. I did shy away from it, and then I realized this is really nice to have that interaction immediately with the other creators.
I found is a lot of them that I prefer live. I don't really enjoy their videos as much, and vice versa. Some people I love their videos and don't really care for their live stuff as much.
I can relate.
Like I don't think I've seen either of your videos since I've discovered your live stuff because I love your live stuff so much more.
I totally understand that though.
Yeah, me too.
Like you mentioned earlier, like you did a video with someone, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. I haven't checked out your channel in a while because I just come to your stream so often. That's how I get my FamKam and Caitlin fix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty strange because when you see the kind of people in your chat and then you see the kind of people in your comment section over on YouTube, for a lot of us, including myself, there's not all that much overlap. Some people just prefer one or the other, and that's totally fine and understandable. I'm kind of 50-50 when it comes to consuming, but when it comes to creating, I enjoy live a lot more because when I'm working, I like to see, this totally conflicts with what I said earlier, but I'm very complicated. Like I said, when I'm consuming ASMR, I tend to go for no talking more often when I'm working, but at the same time, I like interacting with people when I'm working. I love chatting with my coworkers as we're getting our work done. Don't worry, that doesn't degrade the quality of my work. But also when I'm working on ASMR stuff, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy making videos. I always have, even as a kid, making claymation videos. That was my first that was my first taste of video production. But I still enjoy live more because I'm interacting I'm interacting with the FamKamians as I'm doing my thing. Whereas I make a video, I put it up there, and then people leave comments, and then I reply. But oftentimes life catches up, and I fall behind on the comments, or I do reply, and that's like it. Whereas when it's live, it's back and forth constantly. Yeah, the chat gets dead every now and then, but when it does, it eventually comes back, and in the meantime, I'm just doing my thing, and I picture my audience right in front of me so that I don't feel so alone anymore.
That's actually how I feel as an audience member. I imagine whoever it is down at the bottom of like an auditorium, and everyone in the chat sitting up in the stadium seats. It's not like a huge like football stadium, but like we're
Right.
all there, kind of interacting with each other and with the streamer. So I think it's really cool that that's how you feel, because that's how we feel as audience members as well.
Yeah,
Is it
absolutely.
which is more rewarding? I bet it's more rewarding to have be involved with a stream chat than it is to just reply to comments, because it's a little more instant.
Absolutely. Hands down.
I would agree. Yeah.
Which would you guys say is a little easier to do? Because I know streaming has its own set of, challenges. I know that can be very stressful and very tiring, but not having to make everything perfect and have to edit everything, I assume streaming is just a little easier for you guys.
Oh, 100%. As much as I love editing, the pressure of getting everything right that comes with it is really real. Because if you miss a mistake and it ends up in the video, especially when you're premiering, it is so damn awkward, and that's happened to me a good number of times. Whereas when you're live, if you screw up, you could just say sorry and move on. And everybody understands, because we're all humans. We're not robots.
Yeah. In addition to that, for YouTube ASMR, a lot of the times you have to write scripts or plan a little bit of like some bullet points. Whereas when you're doing it live, of course, you can have like a script of something you want to do, but you don't necessarily have to follow it. A lot of that improv really comes into play. And in addition, like with background sounds during live streams, people are so much more understanding. In my streams, we have a meme about how many times Ozzy meows.
Yeah.
He's constantly meowing up a storm. Whereas in YouTube videos, it's really hard to be like, hi, you're at the doctor's office, and now there's a cat meowing. You can't really switch between the two.
Yeah, exactly. To your point about scripts and bullet points happening in a live stream, when you do that, you also run the risk of like falling really behind the chat and people getting pissed off about that, unless you break character occasionally and respond to the chat. Although it kind of is fun to semi-break character, like stay in character but also respond as if you are that character. I've done that a couple times as Solid Snake, but it's a real challenge to balance the two.
Kat, you mentioned a couple minutes ago about doing the doctor's office thing. You guys do you guys have analytics. I know medical role plays are super big now. Has that always been the case? I haven't heard about that. Okay.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. So my 4th ever ASMR video was a cranial nerve exam. I recorded it in 2012 on an iPhone 4.
I remember those. I had
and
one.
It is one of my most viewed videos of all times. And then, more common role plays from the last like maybe 4 to 5 years or so, those do really well as well. Medical role plays, for whatever reason, are just the absolute best for the YouTube algorithm.
Which always blows my mind, because those are the ones I tend to watch the least.
Same. I do not care for those, but I recently saw on Twitter people talking about how those always get the big numbers, and I did not realize that.
Yeah. The reason why I don't watch a lot of doctor videos or do a lot of doctor videos is because my parents are optometrists. So whenever I think of doctor stuff, I always have that perfectionist mindset of things having to be right. In part because my mom is by far the biggest perfectionist I know, which is ironic because she's the one that taught me that perfectionism is a waste of time. But I digress. Because having grown up around doctors and having a drop of that doctor mentality makes me think gotta do this. I gotta do this right. I gotta be true to science and things like that. Every time I do a doctor role play, it's one of the few times where I make a mental effort to ignore that mentality and just go for it anyway and break through it. And usually it pays off. Sometimes, occasionally it doesn't, but when it does, it's freaking sweet. But usually when I'm doing a doctor role play, I have to do it in the most FamKam way possible and do it as a character, or if I'm not, do something to make it silly, because that's how I operate.
I'm not sure if this has a factor into why those videos are so successful, but there are a lot of people who do suffer from medical anxiety, and they don't feel comfortable going to necessarily a doctor. But when they're able to experience a simulated doctor experience, it kind of takes away some of that anxiety and can almost create a practice session, almost like a session zero for when they do need to go to a doctor.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I find for myself, I like to do a lot of research into eye exams, kind of back to the optometrist conversation we just had. And I go see an optometrist, and it's great because I'm able to know what they're going to ask me and what they're going to explain to me before I even sit down, because I've kind of done my own research into making my own videos. So it takes away that buffer and that anxiety when they're like, okay, we're going to dilate your eyes now. I'm like, oh no, they're going to dilate my eyes. I'm not going to be able to see. And I'm like, no, you'll be able to see. Just breathe, just relax. It's for your own health. And I think that's a big factor why those videos do succeed so much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So as far as like medical stuff goes, do you have to be careful doing stuff like that? Because I know there's been all the talk lately about all the fetish modding. Do you have to like double check everything you do? Like, do people actually want to see this, or is this like a creep thing?
It's funny you say that, because for me, there's a lot of things that I won't do when it comes to my medical videos. I won't put gloves on typically while I'm filming. I'll have them on before I start the video, because people want to see you put them on for fetish mining.
Is that a thing?
Interesting.
Yeah, gloves are one of the biggest fetish mining sources in the ASMR community. So I
did notice that.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, latex, leather, and like vinyl. It's a big fetish.
Okay, well, I'll make sure I won't ever ask for that if I'm ever in someone's stream.
Yeah.
I don't want to get... I mean, that's my thing. I know there's so much of that out there. I don't want to get perceived as someone who's trying to do that.
If somebody asked for vinyl, I would assume they're talking about music.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, I have definitely gotten can you put on a pair of vinyl gloves? And I'm like, no, I don't have any. So last year when COVID was at its peak, people were like, can you do glove sounds? And I'm like, I actually do not have any gloves because they are sold out in stores.
Wow.
Convenient.
Yeah, I mean, it was convenient, but it was very funny. I'm like, I actually can't, even though you're being creepy.
Okay, well, I will. Yeah, it's something I'll make sure I won't ask. I don't like glove sounds to begin with, but I'll just add that to the list of things to make sure I avoid.
But there's also a way to do it. You know, if someone's respectful and says, hi, I was wondering, do you have any triggers available right now? I'm really into glove sounds. That's so different than when someone's like, glove sounds. Where are the glove sounds? Put on gloves.
Or just show
I want to hear gloves.
Approaching any trigger with that attitude, regardless of the level of fetishiness, that's not a word, but I'm going with it anyway, attached to it, it's just not cool.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how you ask. So I do always try to ask politely whenever I'm in someone's stream, like, hey, or like redeem points. Like, I'm not just some weirdo here to see the weird stuff.
Being that demanding, even if it's not fetish mining, it's basically the same thing as going into bar and telling the band to play a certain song.
Play Freebird.
Oh yeah.
The Blue Man Group has this thing where they clearly have somebody planted in the audience and saying play Freebird. The first time I saw the Blue Man Group, I thought it was genuine, but then I heard that it actually happens on all their shows.
Well, I mean, going back to the auditorium analogy, it's like just walking in the auditorium full of people, someone doing their thing up on stage and just yelling, show feet. Like, that's
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to a real person. You can't just say
Mm-hmm.
show feet or glove sounds. Be like, no, introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Say hi, politely ask, and if they say, "Oh no, that's like a fetish thing. I'm not going to do that," and you're like, "Oh, okay, I won't ask for that again."
ASMR Darling has I don't know if she still does this, but at least in the past, she did a really brilliant move where somebody asked for feet. She pulls up a picture of some random foot and she's like, here you go. And it's like all hairy and shit.
Ew. Oh, that's
So
one way to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, she pulls that up before banning them.
that's so funny. So that reminds me, talking about kind of fetishy stuff. Do you ever make spicy or NSFW memes?
I do not.
Any
I don't know how I would do that. I
anything
don't
with
know.
articulate design or
This is true.
or Fred's voice.
Is a
Yeah, I
spicy
make memes
meme.
about
Is a
them
spicy
and people get all
meme.
hot under the collar, but no, I don't even know how I would make. I mean, people have DM me like, "Hey, could you make a meme ranking various ASMR artists' feet with
Ooh.
pictures?"
Of
And like,
course.
first of all, I was not born yesterday. I know what you're asking for. And B, how would I get access to that? Am I going to DM them asking for pictures of their feet for a meme, or do you think I already have access to feet pics of them?
Wait, you're not in the Discord for the feet channel? Okay, we'll have
I'm
to
not.
add
Well,
you
can you
after
add
this.
me to that for
Yeah, of
science
course.
reasons?
I got you.
Okay, I will make sure I get in there. Yeah, I'll be able to make those guys. They're obviously not sexual memes about feet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was
people do ask me for stuff like that. Yeah, I remember the one like, can you make a meme ranking their feet? I'm like, do you think I'm gonna fall for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the flip side, and I'm not going to name names, but a couple years ago there was one female ASMR artist that wanted me to help her with some kind of meme she wanted to make and said, "I'll send you feet pics." I'm like, "No, thank you."
I think I know who that is.
Yeah, again, not naming names. But I'm not judging people's fetishes or anything, but like, you can't assume that all dudes are into feet. You just can't.
Same. Well, there was one. It might even be the same person. Like, I have a tech question. Anyone who knows the answer to this, I'll send you feet pics. And I said to myself, I know the answer to this, but I don't want people to think that I just want the feet pics, so I'm not gonna help her.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't imagine.
Yeah, these. Oh, also, people have sent me feet pics. I don't know why, but just in case anyone out there is listening, I do not want feet pics. Please
Yeah.
do not send those to me.
Yeah. No one sent me feet pics, thankfully, but yeah.
I mostly just get people asking me to promote their YouTube channels. 99% of the time, the answer is no.
They send you feet pics and expect free real estate.
No,
I
sorry,
guess
I
that's
kinda
not free
pivoted
at that
topics
point.
there. Just in terms of weird DMs, I'll get people who like post one video and then their very next move is to message the meme account. It's like saying, "Hey, can you promote my new video?" And I'm like, "I don't know you. You
Yeah.
really haven't earned that." So
Because you will willingly, to your free, disposal, promote accounts, but you would never post an account that's, kind of phishing.
right, sure. I mean, a while back, Maddie Tingles asked me to, when he was doing that G Fuel contest, maybe last year, said, "Hey, can you make a couple memes? Might be nice to get the community involved." And for him, I'm like, "Of course, you're Maddie Tingles.
Yeah.
I know you. I know your work. I'm happy to do this for you. If either of you two asked me to make a meme, like promote a new video or something, I would happily do it." But it's when someone like when it's their first move to ask someone to promote their account, I'm like, I know you're not in this for the right reasons. Like, you
Yeah,
haven't tried to develop
sketchy.
your community, you haven't tried to work on your art form. I know you're not in this. Your heart is not in this for the right thing.
Yeah,
The answer is
exactly.
always no for that. I'm happy to promote people. There was one lady who was like, "Listen, I'm a Bulgarian ASM artist. I don't know if there's much of a an audience for that, but I haven't found any others. So it might be nice for anyone out there who wants Bulgarian ASMR to know about that. So if you wouldn't mind making a meme about me," I'm like, "Okay, I think that's a genuinely good cause." She asked politely. I'd seen her around from time to time. I knew her, so I was happy to do it. But like when you just message me, well, it's like the equivalent of showing up at chat and saying "show feet." When I just get a random DM from a stranger saying.
Or randomly showing up in someone's chat and asking for a shout out when nobody knows who the hell you are.
Yeah, it's
and then
similar
leaving.
To that. Yeah, just showing up saying, "Hey, can you promote my account?" I'm like, "No, I don't know you."
Yeah.
I'm not a promotional account. I'm more of a. I mean, I'm a little bit of a promotional account. I'm not like a pimp. I'm not gonna pimp you out. I'm gonna. if you have good work, I'm going to highlight it. But if you have posted one really shitty video, then I'm not going to try and bring any attention to you because you haven't earned it yet.
Yeah,
That's kind of mean, but again, people like you two have very much earned that. A lot of newcomers have not yet.
Yeah, and really, the memes is all about having fun with the community. Another way for us to all have fun and have a good laugh and shoot the shit.
Yeah, I mean, I knew they'd start making memes about it eventually, so I wanted to control those memes, make sure they were positive. Because again, a lot of negative stigma around there. I want to make sure here's what it's about. Here are the important players. Here's what you can expect when you go there. Like I said, people would make the memes eventually. I wanted to make sure that they were positive and really were an accurate representation of what the genre and the people interested in it were into.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to add to that, I really do appreciate that you are not afraid to showcase all different styles of ASMR creators, because, you know, with content creation, there is a lot of creators who dabble in sex work or who are just full-blown sex workers. And I can really appreciate that you're not afraid to say, you know what, this person will post some typical NSFW content, but I'm still going to share what they do because they are a valued member of the community, where I feel like a lot of times people would shy away from that. So it's really wonderful that you're like, hey, if you do ASMR and your heart's in it and you have good intentions, you're good with me.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how I feel. If you do the NSFW stuff and the ASMR, I'll showcase the ASMR. I try and I do stay away from the NSFW stuff myself. But you know,
same.
if they keep, as long as they keep it separate, then like I'll show the ASMR part of that. I'm always happy to do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. You must have muted your mic while that was going on, right?
I'm on push to talk, yeah, but still I was worried. I was like, uh-oh, I have to yawn. Thank God there's a pause.
I never used push to talk because I would always forget to push to talk.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not in Discord often enough to even bother trying to set any of that stuff up. I know how to mute it, and that's pretty good for me.
Yeah, same. I feel like push to talk would be very helpful in Among Us, because if you forget to mute your mic, you could get yourself into some big trouble.
Yeah, I only played Among Us a couple times, but yeah, I got myself into trouble just because I wouldn't mute myself. I'm like, well, I heard you during tasks, so I know it's not you. I'm like, okay, cool.
I straight up confessed to being an imposter talking to my chat once. I was like,
one time, like, they were kind of onto me, so I decided to like reverse psychology them. I'm like, yeah, it's me. Vote me out. I dare you. I dare you. And they got so weirded out. They're like, okay, it's obviously not you.
So good.
I can't. That's amazing. So it worked.
I honestly did not think it would work. It was like a last minute Hail Mary.
Yeah. When I forgot to mute that one time, I was like, I could have killed, and someone's like, bruh, you're not muted. I was like, damn it.
No bueno.
Yeah.
That's why I got Discord, because Among Us was in, and I'd be showed to people's chats, and they'd be playing Among Us, like, yo, jump in. I'm like, I don't have Discord, so that's why I got it, and it's been worth it. I've gotten to make a lot of friends doing that.
Yeah. Well, one of these days, the three of us and Chris and some others need to get together and play Among Us. That needs to happen.
I haven't played
People
it
still
since
play
the new
that?
update. I'd love to.
I haven't either. The last time I played it was before they allowed more than 10 players.
I didn't even know that was a thing now. So yeah, I must have changed it a lot.
Oh yeah, they recently had a major update. I'd say about 3 to 5 weeks ago at the time of recording this, where now there's regular beings that can vent. It doesn't just have to be imposters.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
there's different roles and characteristics. So one person can see when everyone's dead. One person can see the map at all times. Like, they added some really cool features.
I have heard of the one where imposters can morph into their opponents to pretend that they're one of them.
That's correct. You can also now change into the color of someone that you killed. So, like, you know how someone's like,
it's only ones that you killed?
I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But, you know, so a lot of times people are like, oh, I just saw white. They walked around the corner. But then, like, you're teal. They're like, well, no, there's no white. Wait, shit, what color did I see? And then you kind of start questioning yourself and what you really saw. It's a really fun game in that regard.
I have a few exes that would be amazing at Among Us.
Oh my god, same.
I'm sure we've all been there.
Yeah. One time on on the airship. On the airship, you can choose what room you start in, and so one time I killed somebody right at the first spawn and walked out of the room, and seconds later somebody found them and reported it, and they didn't see me. And I was like, oh no, I'm screwed. They're going to figure out it's me. But what I did was I stayed quiet until everybody, because they're like, everybody say what room you started in. And so I waited till everybody else said where they were, and nobody said the kitchen, which is not where I was. So I said I was in the kitchen and got away with it. Yeah. Ended up winning that game.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
A 4D chessing.
That's right. 4D chess.
Yeah, Among Us was not my strong point. I didn't play it enough times to really get into it. I'm not super into games, so I'm always at a disadvantage whenever I play stuff like that.
What other games do you enjoy?
Video games have taken a big backseat to me. I haven't played Warzone since like March. I finally got Horizon Zero Dawn. It's taken me about 6 months to finish. Still not done. I love Red Dead Redemption 2. I still play that a decent amount. But other than that, I tried getting to Minecraft a little bit a while back.
Yeah. Minecraft for me is I go to it strictly in creative mode as a way to relax and be artistic. I got into Minecraft like a year or so ago because of ASMR, actually, because for years Minecraft didn't sell me at all. I was like I saw some classmates. I was in college when it came out, and yeah, I'm freaking ancient. But I saw some classmates play it in the computer labs, and I was like, I don't really understand why people is this a game? It doesn't look like a game. But then when I many years later watched ASMRs play it and got how it can be really relaxing, that's what sold me on it, because like the ASMR value of it is what got me into finally giving it a shot. Now I love it.
Yeah, I'd never really gotten into it until Bohemian Cella's community was really into it. Like, you gotta get in here, gotta join our Minecraft server. I got in there, like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna learn to play Minecraft. But they've all been playing it for like a decade. Like, they were doing some like making the portals and making like glass houses. I'm like, I'm just chopping down trees here, man. Like, it isn't as fun for me as it is for you.
Yeah. I remember one time in particular, I was on stream and people were telling me about NetherRealm, and I had no idea what it was. And then they were telling me, okay, so build these blocks in a certain rectangle and blah blah blah. I forget the whole process, but it creates a portal and you go through it and you get to NetherRealm, and I was like, am I in hell? I'm in hell. Nether is hell.
So what kind of hobbies are you into outside of, meme creating? What is ASMR doing in their personal life that you would feel comfortable sharing with us?
I mean, let's see. I'm trying this new thing called having a girlfriend. That is very time consuming.
Yeah,
I'm not great at it, but I am working on it. Yeah. Yeah. So, that is a new thing. Never tried that before. Recently gotten into it. I do think it's a worthwhile hobby though. Does definitely have some benefits.
Yeah.
Let's see. Don't do the games very often. I work out a ton. At least I did pre-pandemic. That's been pretty tough to do with things being closed, just the way the world is.
Of course.
Especially last year when I was in California working like 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. That really fell by the wayside. So I'm trying to get back into that. Ollie, I've actually been so busy recently. Hobbies are like, what even are those? I think the meme creation has been my main hobby recently. That's been the one thing that's kept me going through a lot of the things that have been going on in the world throughout the past year.
Of course, but that's creative, and that's a great way to get that creative energy out there.
Yeah,
it is, and I've made a lot of friends doing it. So, like I said, that was really something that's kept me going through a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I have a bad day, I can just log into Twitter and see there's people responding to my memes in such a positive way.
Yeah.
It's ironic, because I'm getting interviewed now, and for the first time ever, I had 3 memes in a row just absolutely flop. So not a great day to talk about them now, but generally speaking, they do pretty well.
Well, maybe those flop memes will unflop after this. Who knows?
Hey, it's too late now. I have a 20. They have to hit 40 likes within 24 hours, otherwise they were a failure.
Is that a
Oh,
Yeah.
personal rule, or is that something that you've discovered with the Twitter algorithm?
Both. It was my rule, and I checked it up, and it turns out it was about 42 likes. So I'm like, okay, 40 will be my goal.
That's fair.
I
Heck
usually
yeah.
get that many likes only when I post really philosophical crap. Not that it's crap, but you know what I mean.
Sure, I know what you mean. But yeah, I have goals, and like I said, for the first time ever, and doing this in 3.5 years, I had three in a row just absolutely tank. And I don't know why. These were fairly decent ones. I don't know why Twitter didn't respond to them, but they didn't.
That's
Instagram
kind of
did like them though.
that's kind of how the internet is. Like we never know what's good and what isn't because a lot of the times when we put out something that we're really proud of, they flop, and when we put out something that we feel like we half-assed, they blow up. It's just how it
That's
is.
what I found. I mean, I'll make a meme and I'm like, this is super dumb. I don't know if anyone's gonna like this, but I gotta post something today, and I'll post it, and those are the ones that blow up. My most
Yeah.
successful meme ever was back in like July, and it was like, come check out ASMR. We have like Licky Boys and Frivy and all that stuff, and I thought that was super dumb. And now it got like 1,700 likes in a couple hours. It was hands down my most
Wow.
successful meme, and I'm like, you know what? I no idea what you people want. I'm just gonna keep making memes and hit the like button if you want. Don't if you want. I'm just gonna keep making them.
That reminds me. So I asked you on Twitter, but I feel as if we can talk about it now because of we're talking about successful memes. Were there any memes that you thought that were going to do better, and then you posted them, and you're like, wait, why aren't they doing so well? Do you have any examples?
Off the top of my head, there was the one on November 30th. There was a meme about ASMR Ryan. It was which Ryan are you today? And I spent hours combing through his videos and his Twitch clips to try and find various different facial expressions for him. And I put so much work into it. I thought people would love it. And that one also tanked just colossally hard. And yeah,
Oh.
that was the most recent one. And it happens all the time. The ones I put a lot of work into are not as well received. And I can literally just like shit post and people just love it.
I loved the ASMR Ryan meme. I think
I
that's
think you and 27 other people felt the same way. And other than that, the 8,000 people that follow me did not care for it.
yeah. I think I actually answered it. Was it on Instagram
Insta or Twitter.
or did
I
I
don't know
not?
how it did on Insta, but I know it did flop on Twitter.
I could have sworn I answered it. But why don't I just answer it right now?
Okay.
I am 5 hands down. Done.
Okay. But yeah, thank you. Then maybe that'll drive up engagement on that one.
I did it on Instagram. I'll do it on Twitter
Okay.
too.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, joining Insta was cool because there's a completely different set of ASMR fans on there and ASMR creators. So that was kind of my hope. I'd get over there and get to meet and even connect with even more people, and I totally did. So I kind of regret putting off the move to Instagram as long as I did.
Yeah.
Was there any particular reason, or you just didn't see the value in it?
I mean, I had a personal Twitter, so I knew how to work with Twitter, knew how to post there. Moving to Insta was scary because nobody likes to do anything new. So I definitely
True.
just like bit the bullet and did it, and totally, of course, it was easy and harmless, and I don't regret it.
See, that's the same reason why I took 27,000 years to finally get a TikTok account, and I still haven't made any
Mm.
TikToks, even though I've been talking about it for ages. James Bond 235 and I have been talking about doing a Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck collab on there because he does an amazing Donald Duck impression. Like, holy shit.
I did recently delete my TikTok because I need to warn you, it will absolutely suck up your life if you're not careful. Like, I was already losing like hours a day to it, and then there was one day I got home, because working at home that day, and I had a meeting in like an hour. I'm like, I'm just gonna open TikTok real quick, scroll a couple, then get back to work. So I opened TikTok, scrolled a couple, and my boss texts me and says, "Hey, you're gonna hop on the meeting." I'm like, "You're talking about it's not for another hour." Sure enough, an hour had passed. I'm like, "Oh, that's not good." I literally just deleted it right then and there. It was actually becoming a problem. So make
Ah.
sure you don't let that take over your life because it's addictive.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It like being on
considering
there. It did keep me in touch with the youth.
cons-
I learned a lot of slang from TikTok.
uh,
Me being on there was very much how do you do, fellow kids moment.
Oh.
Do you realize you're like a decade older than the average TikTok user? That really hits you.
Oh, you gotta be telling me, man. I'm 34, and most people in the community are like in their early mid-20s. So
yeah, I just turned 28, and I'm just kind of like, man, a kid graduating high school this year are a whole decade younger than I am.
Oh man, I feel so similar. Like, we're very close in age.
Yeah,
it's rough.
I
graduated
college 10 years ago.
Oh,
yeah,
can't be a good feeling. Yeah, I mean, I lived next to West Virginia University for about a couple years ago when I was like 25, and my first instinct was, oh, fellow young people. And I was like, no, these are 18 to 22-year-olds. To them, you're one of those weird old people that lives by campus. It was a bit of an eye-opening moment.
Oh yeah.
Plus, you'll make these
you're gonna get more of those.
How old they are. What's that?
You're gonna get more of those eye-opening moments the older you get. Trust me. Be ready for that shit. You get used to it, though.
Well, I mean, I got one a couple months ago when one of my friends said, oh, I'm turning 20. And he was an internet friend, didn't know how old he was. I'm like, I thought he was joking. He's like, no, I'm turning 20. I'm like, oh, crap, I thought we were the same age.
Yeah.
People usually are surprised when I tell them how old I am. Like, every time they're like, I thought you were in your 20s. I thought you were like 25 or something. I'm like, no. even with the beard. Without the beard, I look literally half my age. Maybe even.
Yeah, well, that's why I made the meme about it. Like, it really aged you up.
I remember that.
That was one of my early FamKam memes.
Yeah. Which in turn was based on an Articulate Design meme, which again made me feel like I made it.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. I even told you, like, if you grow a beard, I'm gonna make a meme about you like that. And
yeah,
sure enough, you did it. I'm like, great, perfect. I know what meme I'm gonna make.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, all the young people on the internet. It's like, because a lot of them like look so young. Like Rapunzel ASMR, I thought she was like 23. She's like 34, 35. I'm like, holy crap, girl. You need to share that skincare routine.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you the secret. It's the same one that I have. She and I are both vegans.
That's got to be it. Okay, note to self. I've been working on going vegetarian. I'd like to be full vegetarian by the time I'm 30.
Yeah.
I don't know about vegan.
That's a great goal.
It is.
I've cut out beef and pork already. Chicken and turkey are going to be really hard because I love those.
I can tell you are doing it right, because that's exactly how I did it too. I cut out one at a time. Don't do it all at once, or you will eventually bounce back. Or if you don't, you're going to feel painful withdrawals. I tried that a couple times before, and yeah, that's exactly what happens. If you really want to make it a lifestyle, you gotta ease into it, which is the same with pretty much anything. Like when you're working out and you want to build muscle, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to do it on a regular basis. You have to do it at a pace that works for you. If you overdo it, you're going to hurt yourself, and then you're going to stop for a long time, and then you're going to go back to where you were in the beginning. It's how it is with pretty much anything.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So I'm just going to kind of ease myself into it and really hope that it takes.
Yeah. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, memes. Be sure to follow ASMR Memes on Twitter, on Instagram, and where else could we find you on social media?
That is it currently. If you ever want to get a hold of me, anyone out there, message me on Discord first. I will see that immediately. Twitter DMs are the worst way to get a hold of me because I might go days without checking that.
I can relate.
Yeah.
And also be sure to check out Miss Caitlin, one of the greatest ASMR artists out there, a real OG. Where can we find you, Kat?
I am on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at ASMRKitten, and I am on Twitch at Miss Caitlin.
Yes, you'll likely see me in Kat's Twitch streams in the chat. So.
Absolutely.
Yes, look for the cute little diamond next to his name.
Yes. I'm usually there making bad jokes.
I don't know about bad. I usually enjoy them.
Okay, well, that makes one. I'll take it.
One goes a long way.
That's all I need. I just need one person to validate me, and I'm good to go.
I'm happy to be there for you, man. But yeah, and of course I'm FamKam. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, at FamKam ASMR, on once in the bluest of blue moons on Reddit at FamKam360. And of course, you can find me on Discord. All of our links of all three of us will be in the description. And be sure to follow the founder of IGL, ChristopherNotWalken, who couldn't be with us today, unfortunately. But be sure to follow him on Twitter, Instagram, and of course subscribe to the show, and hit the bell, and then you'll never miss another interview ever again in your entire life. No, I'm just kidding. But that being said, thank you all so much for joining. It's been a pleasure. We look forward to giving more awesome ASMR interviews, and with that, I am out. Stay chill, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.